Everyone, my name is Kaseem. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the $1 Million Challenge. This is the channel where we trying to get our money up to the first million. That is what I do on this channel. I'm showing you the process where I'm showing you my process to getting my money, my investment money, all the way up to $1 million. So if you like the sound of that, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out what I've done already, and if you vibe with it, you can subscribe. I appreciate it. If you don't, you just keep it pushing. But I appreciate everybody that takes the time out to check out the channel. Appreciate you guys. So in today's video, we are going to go over Tesla's Q3 2021 financial results. I'm wrapping things up here. This is going to be the final part to the Q3 2021 financial results for Tesla. I always love to bring this earnings call to you guys, break it into sections, because people don't listen to earnings calls. And I strongly believe that it's important to listen to earnings calls, especially of companies that your favorite company that, you have high conviction of. And, it's just important to listen to earnings call. If you have, S&P 500, you cannot listen to 500 earnings call, but I'm sure there's those big companies that you're... Hello everyone, my name is Kaseem. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the $1 Million Challenge. This is the channel where we trying to get our money up to the first million. I'm showing you my process to getting my money, my investment money, all the way up to $1 million. So if you like the sound of that, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out what I've done already, and if you vibe with it, you can subscribe. I appreciate it. If you don't, you just keep it pushing. But I appreciate everybody that takes the time out to check out the channel. Appreciate you guys. So in today's video, we are going to go over Tesla's Q3 2021 financial results. I'm wrapping things up here. This is going to be the final part to the Q3 2021 financial results for Tesla. I always love to bring this earnings call to you guys, break it into sections, because people don't listen to earnings calls. And I strongly believe that it's important to listen to earnings calls, especially of companies that your favorite company that, you have high conviction of. And, it's just important to listen to earnings call. If you have, S&P 500, you cannot listen to 500 earnings call, but I'm sure there's those big companies that you're very convinced that they're going to be bigger than they are right now. So you should listen to those people's earnings call. And that's what I do with Tesla. I strongly believe Tesla is one of those companies where it would be bigger than it is right now based on all the things that they're doing. The company, I believe they're going to be worth trillions, multiple trillions, not one, not two, not three. They're going to be worth a lot more 15, 20 years from now, based on the things that they're doing today. They have a great team, they have a great management team, they have great everything. They have a great vision. They have a great vision of how they see the world and what they are planning on doing to make that happen. Investing in something like Tesla, for me, this is my take. Investing in something like a Tesla is basically you're investing into Elon Musk's brain and businesses, because I low-key believe that engineers from SpaceX, from the Boring companies, all these companies, I'm sure they all work with Tesla. So by investing in Tesla, for me, this is my own opinion. I don't know. I'm just from an outsider looking in. For someone that do research on the company every day, I believe that investing in Tesla is low-key investing in all the other companies. So we're getting a good bang for our buck. That's why I like to listen to the company's earnings call. Okay, so without taking too long, let's get right into the earnings call and see what we are going to get up to today. So this is the analyst questions. Analysts are asking Tesla questions.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is from Brian Johnson from Barclays. And Brian, please go ahead and you can unmute.
Tesla team?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, it's by the way, great to hear there's a team at Tesla, not just a one-person show.
Hater. A hater. Who said Tesla was a one-person show? Tesla is a team, fam. What's wrong with you? Stop hating on Elon Musk, son. Divert that hate towards yourself, son. Just because you don't like how the person is, don't mean you should hate, fam. Divert that hate towards yourself about, oh, it's great to see that it's a team. Of course it's a team. It did.
I want to drill down a bit more on FSD. In December of 2020, in a Business Insider interview in Germany, your leader said that he expected level 5 autonomy by December within a year, so that would be now. Yet, we look at the progress in FSD and, some of the issues you see on YouTube.
This guy is just oozing hate, okay? Things can happen. Sometimes plans don't work the way you want it to. And then you just have to deviate. You have to just do whatever in order for your plan to work. But sometimes your plan don't work exactly how you want it to. So, don't try to spew hate on people that are doing great things. Just because, you told us the plan is gonna come. We're gonna have this in like 6 months. But we're not having it, so it's not gonna happen. It's like it sounds like a little kid. But Dad, you said you're gonna give me this candy when we get home. But now we're home, you're not gonna give it to me anymore. All these analysts, I don't understand how all these people get to manage other people's money. Because some of them, they just sound so dumb. It's ridiculous.
And it looks very much like a level 2 plus system that requires vigilance, as in fact your disclaimers say. So I guess 3 questions. Kind of one, what is the timetable to get to level 4, at least capability? We can deal with the regulatory stuff later. 2, what is the criteria for Zach for you to release deferred revenue around FSD? And is having a level 2 system that needs monitoring enough to release that deferred revenue? And then 3, maybe you could talk a little bit more about how you plan to work with the new, with the folks at NHTSA.
You already said it. You already said it in the past. You already said it. If you weren't listening, that's your business. You already said it in the past. So why is it that you're the only one that is asking 3 questions?
Asking some questions. They have 3 requests out to you regarding information around the level 2, around the capabilities of FSD.
Yeah, so I guess we'll take them in order. It's difficult to be specific on the timelines. The Autopilot team is working extremely hard, iterating on every version. We are being extremely transparent, through the release of this to public customers who are posting information online.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're using full self-driving and you're going through the iterations, you can feel the progress.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wish,
for those who don't,
I wish I had a car right now to be bringing that content to you guys. But I watch it online, and it's just amazing.
Have it in their cars. Social media is excellent at getting a sense for how that's progressing. And the team is moving quickly with every iteration, with every update, and they're working very hard on that. On your second question about the criteria to release deferred revenue, the way that this works is, we have made certain commitments as to what this product can offer at the time that a customer has purchased that. And so what we have to assess is, have we met those commitments?
Mm-hmm.
And is the software widely available to the folks that we've made those commitments to?
Sure.
Within a certain geography.
Sure.
And, given that FSD is still currently in the beta phase, it's invitation only and it's limited,
mm-hmm.
We have not deemed that to be appropriate for recognition of deferred revenue.
Sure.
And we'll continue to evolve this. We'll continue to monitor it within the finance team to see when we get to the milestones in which we're comfortable releasing.
Sure.
On the NHTSA question, Lars, do you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, as I said earlier, we always cooperate fully with NHTSA and other regulatory bodies in any sort of investigation they may have, particularly related to, ADAS systems. When they came out with the standing general order in July, we were quick to respond to that, and one of the first and only companies capable of actually meeting the needs of that report. We continue to send that information to them as required, weekly and as incidents occur. And with the additional investigations, as I said, we meet that with great sincerity, and we'll work through them one by one to make sure that all the facts come out, and that NHTSA is well informed about our strategies for both active safety in this case, but also passive safety. As you guys may know, we released updates to our airbag and restraint system last week to Model Y using our fleet data. We worked closely with NHTSA on that, and they were fully in the loop before we did it. So I think these kinds of things will continue to happen in the new regulatory space that Zach discussed as we move towards a software-based vehicle, and we're happy to be a part of that journey.
Thank you very much. And the next question comes from Trip Chowdhury.
Thank you. Very good quarter. I had two quick questions. First is regarding the two upcoming factories in Berlin and Austin. Who are the two factories different from each other, maybe in the layout, design, assembly lines? And the second question is related to Cybertruck. Who is the supply looking at? If you look at the exoskeleton steel, is the supply for that material sufficient for immediate ramp up, say in 23, 24 time for Cybertruck? That's all for me.
It's a good question.
Sure. So obviously, as we've noted in the past, we developed our own stainless steel grade for the exterior Cybertruck to meet both the durability and corrosion requirements required for an automotive world. With this raw material and others, as Drew mentioned, we continue to look at multiple sources. We have made some early sourcing decisions in that, but I think we'll keep that one internal, and we've already began the first castings of that. Rolling stainless isn't so different from rolling any other material. It's just about how hard the rollers are to get to that hardness level. And, just like every manufacturing process we put in for every new vehicle, we'll work with our suppliers and vendors to make sure those timelines and supply meet the need and demand of our customers.
Sure.
And on the differences between Austin and Berlin, there are some. They're largely associated with the different sort of building architectural choices that were, happen to occur in collaboration with like local codes and other sort of governing requirements that drive the differences in the architecture between the locations.
Sure.
In general, though, like we're trying to progress the manufacturing system as a system and make sort of logical, like path-defined improvements from factory to factory. And in some cases, there was an improvement identified between like decisions for one Austin, the other Berlin, or vice versa. And so there might be a slightly newer iteration of one part of the factory in one place than the other, but it's all part of a path forward in the factory that builds the machine. The machine that builds the machine.
Machine that builds a machine, man.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
And the last question comes from Jed Dorsheimer from Canaccord.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, thanks for taking my question. So Brandenburg, I'm just wondering, Zach, if you could estimate the carry cost from a margin perspective, or I guess in two parts. So when do you still expect production coming on in 21? So, a couple months left in December. How do you see that margin impact as a function of the carry cost? And I do have a follow-up question.
Sure. So it remains our target in both Austin and Berlin to be able to build our first production cars before the end of the year.
Okay.
We've talked about this a bit, the unknown unknowns, new factories, new vehicle designs, new technologies, new locations, new teams. So, there's quite an execution journey ahead of us.
Sure.
But that remains our target, and all of our plans are oriented around that. We should not expect for us to deliver cars by the end of 2021 from these factories, even if we do produce some.
And that's okay.
So homologation, regulatory reasons, and we'll want to make sure that we build up some number of cars that we're confident in the quality and the customer experience around them.
Sure.
The second thing that I'll say, and I mentioned this in my opening remarks, is because of the newness here, it's extremely difficult for us to be precise in what the ramp will look like.
Sure.
And it's possible the stars align and things move quickly. It's possible that we're spending the bulk of next year working on ramping these factories. It's just very hard to say, and we'll continue to update you all through these calls and through other forums.
Sure.
As to how that then impacts our margins, that is also difficult because that is a function of the ramp, which is uncertain.
Sure.
So the benefit here, which is different in the ramp of these factories compared to other factories, is if you think about the percentage of our total cost structure in any given quarter that is associated with new ramps, we have the Fremont factory that's running, generating stable and growing margins there. The same is also true in Shanghai.
Sure.
So I expect we'll see some amount of headwind on margin from these ramps. It's just entirely dependent on how quickly we're able to ramp and what uncertainties come up during the process.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that they don't know. So all these analysts that they always asking questions about how what they're doing right now is going to impact, their future profitability. Obviously, it's going to impact it in a great way. They're going to make money, obviously. But the only thing is, these things, it takes time to ramp it up, to build it up. It takes time to ramp these things up and build it up. So it's going to take time for all this, for all the work that they're putting in right now to flow through. It's like someone that is overweight and trying to lose weight. You got to go to the gym and do your thing over and over and over and over again. You're not going to see the results in the first month, the first 2 months, the first 3 months. But maybe the 4th, 5th, the 6th, you start seeing results in your body. You start seeing your body change. It's the same thing. They just built the factory. They still got to make sure all the equipment works. They got to make sure the car that comes out of the factory, everything is okay. And that's 2 factories, one in Germany and one in Texas, Berlin and Texas. They got to make sure all those things are okay. They got to make sure the quality of the car is good. They got to make sure the machines are calibrated well. So many things that they still got to do. It's not just putting up the building and then boom, cars will start falling out of it. So all those things will take time. And then once all that stuff start falling in place, then you start seeing improvement on their books. I'm not a professional and I can reason that, this is what they're doing.
So on a margin per car, but I would suspect though, if your carry cost is full right now that as you start producing vehicles, it's going to be a margin lifter from where you're at right now. No?
You're gonna make more money.
We are carrying some amount of cost associated with the factories today. And so the incremental cost associated with turning the factories, it's not 100% of a factory, if that's what you're getting at in your question.
Yes. Yep, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, we also actually saw a very similar dynamic to this when we were launching Model S earlier in the year. So, when a product starts launching, and then cost of goods sold starts to activate, depreciation starts to activate.
That's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier. It's gonna take time for all these things to work, but once you build an asset, you gotta now depreciate the expenses over time, and over time, each vehicle that comes out of that factory takes a little slice off the cost of the factory, because without the factory, they can't make the vehicle. So over time, when they just get this thing going, get the factory going, over time, naturally, it's going to cost them less. Let's say it cost them $1 billion to make the factory. And every year, let's say it cost them $500,000 to run it. If you do the numbers, let's say after 5 years, the factory is making them $5 billion every year. are they not profiting from the factory? Plus, they still have the depreciation of that billion. You know,
There's a bit of a movement in the P&L as to where that cost resides. So yes, I mean, to some extent, Brandenburg and Austin costs are already flowing through our P&L, but we still need to continue staffing and ramping and incurring all the operating costs associated with the factory that we're not spending right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone, for all your questions.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again in 3 months. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate it. So that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you like it, please consider subscribing. You know, it helps me out, and I hope you enjoy what I do here. Check out what I do on the channel. If you're just running into me for the first time, this channel is focused on getting my money up to the first $1 million, net worth assets, investment assets up to the first $1 million. And I'm going to show you guys the process. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. This Q3 Tesla financial result breakdown, it's in 5 parts. Okay, I'm going to leave it in the cards. You can watch, you know, all the parts, you know, so you can get an idea of what the company is doing. You get an idea of what I think. And, you know, I hope you've enjoyed it. So thank you very much. I appreciate the support. For those of you that support the channel, thank you very much. Until next time, see you later. Love you all. Bye.